Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Beauty, Bible, and Enlightenment. If you want to see this beautiful smoky eye look, stay tuned. Hey, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to a new video. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rita, and welcome to another episode of Beauty, Bible, and Encouragement, also known as the BBE, where here I share some of my life journeys and experiences and enlightenment of my spiritual growth. I'm sharing my journey and my process with you guys in hopes to be helpful and encouraging and motivational to somebody who's seeking their spiritual journey to get closer to God, sending you words of encouragement and just uplifting you and wanting to help you with your spiritual growth. And we learn and grow together while getting unified. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and do this amazing makeup look for a photo shoot that I have to do. And if you have not watched episode 1, be sure to go ahead and go back and watch that. And I'll put it up here, but I'll definitely put it in the description bar, and it will also be at the end of this video. It's very, very good information in there. But let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Hopefully you enjoy this video and you subscribe if you're new here, and keep coming back to enjoy this series with me. Somewhere along the way, I hope that everyone watching this or whomever watching this is actually taking something from it. You're enjoying it, you're embracing it, and you're having fun. And let's go ahead and get right into this video. All right, you guys, so in today's video, we're going to go ahead and do a get ready with me natural-ish look for a branding photo shoot that I'm doing. I'm a little nervous, slightly excited though about the progress of the pictures or just the photo shoot in general. So in this look, I'm going to do like a pink smoky eye. Can you tell that I like doing smoky eyes? Because I really do. I just think that's just a given look, like overly obsessed with it. But that's what we're doing in today's video. And let's go ahead and dive right off into this topic while we do this makeup look. So today I'm going to try not to do too much over talking like I did in the last video, but to actually try to do the whole video routine, the whole makeup look in the video. So today's topic is believing in yourself and putting your trust and faith into God. So I have a question for you, of course. So do you know what it means? Like, do you know what faith is? I'm going to go ahead and give you my definition of faith, and of course, like the actual definition or whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and discuss that with you. So what is faith? Faith is, having faith is having trust. You have to trust with your entire being that God has your back, and that He will help you and take care of you through all things. So of course, we're talking about my spiritual growth and me getting closer to God and how to implement those things in my daily life and how it's helped me. So hopefully me sharing this enlightenment with you helps you. So back to what is faith. So He knows what's best for you, but look at that. Just y'all, I need new stuff and I refuse to buy it, but He knows what's best for you. But to truly embrace what He has planned for you, you have to fully trust. And that itself is a lot for me because I didn't realize how much of trust issues I had and how that trusting in God actually implemented or what it's like in my actual life with trusting people. And seeing that I struggle with trusting people and feeling like I had to control my own destiny and put my faith in my own hands because I didn't have anybody that I can trust. I had to actually learn to trust God. So, but He knows what is best for you, but to truly embrace what he has planned for you, you have to fully trust him. And yeah, I'm doing brows. I always wonder why influencers did they brows off camera instead of on camera, because you gotta put some focus in there, and then trying to multitask and put my thoughts into saying them out loud is kind of hard, because I have a little stage fright or whatever. But that's no here nor there. So I'm working on we're building all our skills, just okay. So but yes, so you have to trust God fully, and our trust is not foolish, for our God is both faithful and good. So in Hebrews 11, 1-3, and I'll insert that, of course, I'll insert the script. But in Hebrews 11, 1-3, it states, faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives you assurance about things that we cannot see. Throughout our faith, through their faith, or through our faith, the people in the days of old earnings our good reputation. By faith, we understand that the entire universe was formed by God's command, and that we see that did not come from anything that can be seen. So basically, faith is trusting in things that you cannot see, right? So that's basically, to sum it all up, what faith is. Now, with having faith and believing in yourself or putting your faith in God, you have to trust the process. You have to trust God with your whole heart. And with trusting the process, I should say. With trusting the process is something that I'm also learning, because I am an impatient person. Because putting your faith in something and, not knowing what the point is behind it, or why you're enduring the process, it can be hard, and it can be hard to trust. But that is where the definition of trusting the process comes in it. So what does it mean to trust the process? Trusting the process is walking by faith and not by sight. Trusting that if God has brought you through these things, brought you to this point, that he has great plans for you, and that he will bring you through anything that he has brought you to. And he will never leave you by yourself, or in the process by yourself. So you have to trust the process and not lean on your own understanding for when you don't understand what's going on within the process. So within my own experience, I'll just give you guys a little background on myself. When starting my own business, I had to relinquish all of the things that I struggle with, which is faith and trust. I didn't realize I struggled with those things as much until I actually had to, trust the process. And with the business, there will be ups and downs. There is investments that, you have to do, and you're in obedience and consistency, and all of those things play a big part, or a major role, in being an entrepreneur and growing a business. And I didn't understand those things. I just know I had big dreams, and I had to do what I had to do to make my dreams come true, right? So learn from my mistakes. Let's say that I did not implement God in any of my decisions. I kind of just was like, oh, this is what I want to do, yada, yada, yada. And that's something that a lot of us do. We make plans, and then we include God afterwards, to try to pull us out when things fall apart for us. And if we would have just included him from the beginning, which I talked about in last week's video. So if you have not watched, not last week's video, well, it is last week, but last episode video about putting God, allowing God to be in every part of your life in decision making. So with that being said, I went forth with these ideas and plans that I had for myself. And they say if you want to make God laugh, tell me your plans. So I did all of those things, which led me to struggle. I started to struggle, right? And since I didn't have the things I needed in my character to have a successful business, it began to fail. It began to crumble. And I didn't understand why, right? And then I was just like, I felt like it was because I didn't have the support from my family and my friends. Well, I had support from my husband and some close friends. They really, really supported me. But I can't charge them like, husband, you gotta buy this shirt. He's like, I bought the shirt and all the equipment that went with it. But what I mean is, they say your biggest support is a stranger. So with that being said, I'm here to tell you that my business crumbled, and I had to let it. I had to close it for a while. Then, other life stuff started happening. I lost my mom. I ended up losing my brother. I was just going through a lot. My husband deployed. I was just going through a lot, and I just kind of let my business go down, which is like, not understanding or trusting the process of, or having faith in myself, because I had self-doubt. I had a lot of self-doubt, actually. And that's what also leads me to the title of today's video, which is to believe in yourself, right? And also in the last video, we talked about God making you exactly who you are, uniquely made, and that He, factored in everything about you. So I feel like, those things that I felt like I was lacking is because I didn't have the proper tools and skills I needed to be successful. And I only can get that from God. And I also, again, discussed that in the previous video. So let's talk about something that can be like more relatable, so I can try to get my point across. So what I'm saying about trusting the process. So I don't know about, I don't know if you watched it, but if you ever seen the movie Coach Carter. So in the movie Coach Carter, it's an actor who did such an amazing job, which is Samuel Jackson. He's one of my favorite actors. But Samuel Jackson was a former basketball athlete. He was known. He went to college. He broke records for the school that he attended in high school and all of those different things. So he had great credentials, right? But instead of going to play for Ivy League school, he decided to play for his old high school, which was in a poverty urban city, because he wanted to give back, which is something that I want to do. But he wanted to give back, so he decided to coach the adolescent, youth or young men at Richmond High School. So of course, again, like I said, it was in a poverty-infested urban city. So, they didn't have the best attitudes. Let's say that the kids, the young men didn't have the best attitudes about, things in life. And of course, some people are born talented with basketball and stuff like that. So they had some good players on the team, but they didn't know anything about teamwork. They didn't know anything about, discipline and all of that. They just felt like talent was enough. Let's just say that talent was enough, and it wasn't. So he, long story short, let's fast forward. He decided to take the job at Richmond High School, and he noticed, the behaviors of the young men and stuff, but he knows what it takes to be successful and what they need to get out of the quote unquote hood. So he was trying to implement that into their daily lives to have a backup plan and other goals other than basketball. But again, he loved basketball, and I love basketball. So I really understood this message about trusting the process. So he gave the students a contract. And in the contract, it had different stipulations on the things that he required of them to, in the way he wanted them to perform in school in order to play on his team. And of course, immediately when he gave it to some of the boys, they all quit. Like, I'm not doing this, blase, blase, blase. Right? Which is fine. Like, he let them leave or whatever, and it caused doubt with some of the other players. Like, we're not going to be able to do that. That was our lead team, lead players, yada, yada. He was looking like, we going to have, like, I need you to believe in yourself. Like, they are whatever they are, but they don't have the credentials they need to be successful. So we going to, you can be great too. You don't see your greatness. I see your greatness, and I'm going to, build that up in you so you can see your greatness. So he gave them a contract, and basically, to sum it up, besides the requirements that he had for them to, that he wanted for them to go to school, it basically also taught them discipline and dedication and commitment and like all these other things that they needed to be successful. So they thinking like, this is basketball, we shouldn't have to do all that, woo woo woo, all this complaining, right? But they didn't see what he saw. So basically, long story short, they had to do all this physical stuff that was draining. These clips and scenes of it where they were, it was clips and scenes of it where they were like sore after practice. They was like, we got to do this, we got to do that, but they did it, right? They trust the process. They didn't understand it, but they trust the process. But one of their major worries were like, oh my God, when the time come, which for them was technically the season starting, that they wasn't going to be prepared. And it's like, do you not think that I want to win? You don't think that I have the same goals as you? You don't think I want y'all to be successful? You think I'm thinking beyond like you are too, but you have to trust that what I'm saying is going to work, because we know what you did didn't work, right? And that is, all in all, like, it was a hard process. They didn't understand it, they didn't complain it, but they began to embrace it. They began to accept it for what it was and take from it what they needed, because they started to see results, which is like, okay, this is working. I can do this. Okay. And they started to believe in themselves, and they got confident, and they, all these different other things, right? So let's all sit on the story. If you've never seen the movie, I encourage you to go watch it. I absolutely love it. It's a great movie. Great stars in that movie. But let's go back to, implementing those things in today's life within trusting in God, right? So God is the same way. God says to, trust in Him and not to lean on to your own understanding, right? And another thing that I was saying that they were struggling with was like, the season was finna start, and they like, we doing this BS and we not doing this, instead of practicing, plays and all that, we doing this nonsense, right? So in Matthew 6:34, it says, so don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's troubles is enough for today. So you can't focus on the future, right? You can't worry about the end game. You have to embrace and take in what you are doing now, or the process now, so you will be ready for tomorrow, or you will be equipped for what is to come, right? So again, he didn't explain those things to them. He just asked them for their trust, their discipline, their obedience, and their commitment. And those are the same thing that God asks us for. He asks us to trust in him, lean out on our own understanding, be disciplined, to follow his commands, and we will endure the kingdom as it is in heaven on earth. And to be obedient, to fight the flesh, and to do the things that he asks and obey, and don't complain in the process. He doesn't want us to be complainers, because you will miss what he's trying to get to you if you are focusing on complaining, basically, overall. And to stay committed, and that's part of trusting the process, is to stay committed to the journey, even when things don't look up. And things are not always going to be rah rah rah. Everything is not always going to be yeah, let me show y'all. Here's my brushes. I finally found my brushes after I think I had them for 4 or 5 years, and I found them looking for something else. But I'll put them in my Amazon cart, because I get everything off Amazon. A side note, but back to what's important. But yeah, so he asks you for your full on commitment to him, and that's kind of basically what Coach Carter was doing when he asked them to sign the contract. Even the parents was questioning him. And that's something that also, when you have other people in your life, family, friends, they might not understand your process. It might be completely foreign to them. And it's like, what are you doing? And why are you doing it? And side eye, and I wouldn't do that, and da 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 da. Don't let other people's perspective of you change your journey and your process, and a lot of people project their experiences and their fears onto you, because when I did that, and when I did that, and when I don't nobody care when I'm not cute. Okay, and I got the only person in the whole wide universe ever in history, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, on my side, so I will not fail. So that's another thing within trusting the process. So it helps you weed out the weak and the strong for when you are in a process. So you might lose some people, there might be some people that don't believe in you until they see the results. And that's fine. You just don't give up. You don't give up on the process. You don't allow their viewpoint and stipulations and all those things dictate how you move and what you do. So in Philippians 4:6, it says, don't worry about, oh my God, the powder got in my eye. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all that he has done. So be mindful that yesterday's prayer or previous prayers that has been answered is today's blessing, right? So the things that you have now, or the place you are now, you have prayed for before. So remember that. Remember what God has brought you. So that'll help encourage you and motivate you to know that if he brought you here, and 5 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 2 days ago, or 2 hours ago, you were somewhere else that you prayed for, and you're there now. He did it before, he'll do it again. So you have to trust him in the process, even when you don't see it, leaning back on faith, even when you don't understand it. And that's kind of where I wanted to, lead you guys, with believing in yourself, and, with understanding that who God is, just a glimpse of how he helped me, and what, how I have to use these every day especially with being an entrepreneur and trying to build my businesses from the ground up, or trying to keep my YouTube afloat, or trying to learn makeup. Well, anything that I do is all a process. Everybody was a beginner once. And, you have to keep going, even though, you fail, because sometimes when you fail, you will fail. Let's say that. You just have to embrace the failure. You don't have to take a couple of L's, because 2 L's makes a W. Just a little something for you to know. But 2 L's make a W. So eventually you will win. You get to learn from your mistakes and what to do better next time. But you can't if you just quit. If you just give up, there's no coming back. The failure is when you quit.
All right, you guys, so you can probably see that my microphone died, but in the end, I was just saying that no matter where you are in your process, just trust the journey, embrace it, and focus on you and stand in your own lane and not anybody's opinion, what they've done, what they would do, and all of that. They are not you. Make sure you be you. And I gave an example also of when people bid, or horse racers, they put this little $5 or $10 eye cover over the horse's eye, and it's to block out what's on their left and their right while they're running, so they can focus on their lane and stand in their lane. Because when you look off in other directions at other people, or take on their experiences or the things that they have been through in life, it can knock you off your game. It can knock you off your focus, but you can't listen to them. You can't do what they were doing or what they do, because you have to be you. And with being you in your process, you're going to endure things different. Your mind is different. So you have to focus and stay in your lane, and don't deteriorate from what your process looks like because somebody else's process looks different. And that's what I was saying before my mic cut out. But yes, so stay focused on your journey and your end game and what God told you in your vision, because you're the only one with your vision. You're the only one that has to go through your process. That's pain, that sacrifice, all of those things. You have to do it, and nobody else can. So what they may do or what they have done is not how your results is going to be. Today's viewpoint and perspective will change every day. And if you are too worried about what others around you are doing and you're trying to do what they did, you're never going to learn, because you're always trying to take control, and that's not giving it to God. That's not trusting the process. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, and when you're down, you're supposed to look up, not look to the left and not look to the right. You just focus on God and what He said, and He'll guide you through the process, and He'll tell you what to do next. That's who you look for and look to in the process, and you put your faith in that, because He's holy and He will never leave you and He will never forsake you. And everything that come from Him is good. God is good all the time. And that's what trusting the process is overall. You may not understand it. You may not see the outcome, but God will never give you both the trial and the outcome. Because if He gave you both and you see what you had to go through to get to that vision, you wouldn't go through it. So that's where faith comes in at.
All right, so fun fact, I don't know how long my microphone been dead. I don't even know how long or even if any of that audio got recorded, but I'm going to do a voiceover to see if it actually recorded. I have two mics, so that one's dead, which is the one that I was using. So now I have this one. Don't know, it's on, but I don't know. Like, again, I'm gonna have to watch when I edit to see basically what recorded and what didn't. But I have no problem explaining this again to you. So here is the final look. And I thank you so much for watching. But before I go, let me go ahead and close you out with the closing, because I said I was going to come back with the closing, and I am again running behind because I have to do this photo shoot. So let's go ahead and do the closing. So in closing, be patient in the process and enjoy your journey. Don't walk out or leave the process too early and miss out on what God has for you. And I say that because a lot of the times when things get really, really hard, we tend to quit and we give up, or we try to take things and measures into our own hands, which end up ultimately causing us to fail or, lose in the end. And then we want to blame God because we walked out on him. He never left us. We just stopped including him and implementing him into, our process or our journey. So don't do that. Don't miss out on what God is doing in your life by giving up too early. Don't leave and be unprepared for what he has for you or what is to come, because it got hard and you feel the lack of control. And that's me speaking from experience with different processes, and something that I'm learning to trust in with my faith in my process. For instance, with my makeup, I was really trying to trust the process here. But that's what giving everything to God means. When it says God said give it to God, that's what he means. Preparation don't always look like the destination. And shout out to Mike Todd from Transformation Church for that quote that he used in one of his sermons. He said that the preparation won't look like the destination. So remember to trust the process. Believe for more, but be obedient within the process. So that something greater is coming, but you still have to endure and be obedient to what he said in order to successfully get there. If you leave prematurely, then you won't be equipped with the tools and the skills that God wants you to have within your character to be prepared for what is to come in the future. So some of us need the tools and the skills to be patient, to be honest. Let's just be honest. So some of us still deal with insecurities, but to be ready for whatever platform or whatever you have going on in your life, you have to build those things up, and God can build that in you. And that's probably something that you're enduring within the process. So if you leave prematurely, then you won't have those things. So when you get to where you're going, you're 9 times out of 10 going to fail. So if you don't have a good character, or you don't have patience, for me, or for anyone that's an entrepreneur, when dealing with customers and customer service, people can be difficult. Things can get heated and frustrating. But if you don't have those patience, then you won't have good customer service, which means that will bring down your business. So that's just an example of different things God could be trying to work in you to build a work out of you. So when you get to where he wants you to go within your greatness, whether it's your business, being a millionaire, whatever it is that you're trying to get to, God is trying to fix or put that in you and build it to be prepared for the future. For me, judgment, big thing for me. Getting in front of the camera and, worrying about what people are going to say. Big thing for me. God's been working on that and building my character for me to love myself and believe in myself. So now that I'm in front of the camera, I don't care necessarily what any of the negative comments or, some of the things that people might say about me won't affect me or stop my journey or stop my process. So that's what I mean when I say that, don't, leave prematurely because you think you're ready. Be fully ready. Allow God to show you. He's going to test you to see if you're ready. And if you fail, that's okay. because you know you still have work to do. You'll forever have work to do in being great. So also, don't stop doing what God asks you to do because the opinion of somebody else. Don't do that. A lot of people don't see your vision, so they won't understand it. And again, some people give their perspective and their fears and their failures. They will put that on you, and then that can affect you. They are not you. You are not them, and you need to remember that within your process. You again, some people you may lose, some people you might not get back into the end, but you will be ready for whenever those things come. So remember that today's blessings was once yesterday's prayers. You may ask God for a house and he'll give you trees. So that's a deep word within itself. You must believe in yourself. Always, always believe in yourself, even when you don't see the end or you don't see, you know, past what's in front of you. Remember, vision is what you see with your eyes closed, and only God can give you that. So don't let the things and the situations that are happening in front of you discourage you. So here's some of my favorite scriptures to uplift you, for you to believe in yourself and what God says about you and what his word says about you. And I want to leave you with this quote, which is, patience is pain that leads to pleasure, but impatience leads to pleasure that gives you diarrhea of pain. So that is that's pretty deep, because if you ever had diarrhea, you know what diarrhea pain is. But I pray today's enlightenment encouraged you and for you to trust in God with all of your heart and know that I am praying for you and that your time is coming. Your blessing is coming. You are next. Don't give up. Keep going. Trust the process. And I pray that this video touched whom it needs to touch and reach who it needs to reach. And let my story and my encouragement help you to seek God and his kingdom for true peace, love, and joy. So again, remember that you're next, you're amazing, you're beautiful, and everything that's for you is for you, and it's going to happen. You just have to be patient, trust God, and have faith. So know that your time is coming, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Flying so high, flying so high.